Yes, I'm Paul Holmes. I'm the founder of the Holmes Report. These days I do some editing and writing, but mostly I've just spent the last 30 years of my life thinking about and writing about public relations.
Tell me about future of PR. How do you see future of our profession?
Okay, first of all, I'm in my mid-50s now, so I'm not the future of anything. I spend a lot of time talking to people who I think are the future of this business. And I think as long as those people are given free rein to be as creative and as innovative and as disruptive as they need to be, then the future of public relations is very bright. But it's not going to look anything like the past of public relations.
But how it should look like? What we should learn to become PR professionals of future? What do we need to know more?
Okay, so I think that we have allowed ourselves over the last 20 to 25 years. This is true in the big developed markets like the US and the UK, and it's true in most of the developing markets that I visit. We have allowed ourselves to be defined as media relations people, not as public relations people. And in order for us to seize the future, I think we have to embrace this idea that public relations is about everything that goes into the relationship between an organization and the public. And that means that we have to learn to be thinkers and doers. We have to be about helping organizations set policy and behave in the right way, because all of our relationships are based more on how we behave than what we say. So the first thing is we have to be good at making sure the behavior is right. And then beyond that, we need to embrace a whole range of communications tools. It's not about press releases, it's not about press conferences, it's not about media coverage, it's about engaging with people wherever they are. So it's about social media, it's about events, it's about new kinds of content, it's animation and infographics. We have to be much more visual. We have to be much better storytellers. We have to make sure that our stories have a point, that they are emotional, that they connect with people in their hearts, as well as just providing them with facts and information. We just have to get better at that whole narrative process across a whole range of disciplines.
Do you think PR person is supposed to talk directly to consumers?
Absolutely. Not just consumers, every stakeholder, communities, employees, shareholders, consumers. We have to reach out to them directly. That's what engagement is about. A relationship is much more effective if it's you and I talking than it is if it's me talking to a newspaper and the newspaper talking to you. I want my relationships to be as personal as possible. And as public relations people, that means that we have to find ways for our content, for our message, to connect directly with people. And the fewer filters there are, the better. Yes, it's important to have the added credibility of a third party telling you something important, but that third party doesn't have to be a journalist anymore. It can be your hairdresser, it can be your priest, it can be your mother, it can be a kid in school who, plays video games and is, the best video game player in school. It can be a nerd who knows more about computers than anybody else. It can be anybody, and we have to find ways to connect directly with those people.
Can PR professional be individuality himself, though he is representative of the company?
I think absolutely. I think that any time that you are out there speaking on behalf of the company, you need to make that very clear. But I don't think that makes it impossible for you to deliver commentary on the industry as a whole, as an individual. And in fact, I think if you see yourself as a leader, if you see yourself as an analyst, if you see yourself as a sort of intelligent spokesperson for our industry, then you have to go beyond the parameters of your own small box and look at the industry as a whole. And, we're all citizen journalists today, right? We're all commentators. As soon as you put a comment on a Facebook post, you're entering into a discussion that's usually outside of the parameters of your specific job. Everybody knows who you are. I don't think that we need to draw that sort of hard line anymore and say anytime you speak you're a spokesperson. Sometimes you're just a person.
But how my reputation, if it's harmed somehow in social networks, for example, how it can influence the reputation of my company that I'm working for?
Well, I think that you probably need to make it very clear to your company that you're doing this and get permission to comment, more broadly than just, narrowly on their business. But at that point, I think the separation... I think that increasingly people are getting used to this, right? They understand that you have the professional persona and the personal persona. And I think most people are smart enough to make a distinction between the two. I think it's only people who want to create trouble that try and push them together and make this an issue. But I don't think it's a real issue for most consumers.
And the last question, your advice to PR professionals who want to grow. What do you advise us to read, to watch, to learn, whatever?
My God, everything. Okay, obviously I think no. That's an almost serious answer, right? Because I think, well, first of all, you ought to read the Holmes Report, www.holmesreport.com. But after that, I think that the best PR people are deeply immersed in popular culture. They understand what's going on in music, in movies, in film, in television. They incorporate popular culture into the work they do. So they know, which shows they should be aligned with, which celebrities they should be aligned with. But it's also important to understand the political and social context. So, I do think it's the job of PR person to be a polymath, to understand a little bit about everything, to be spread across a wide range of media. And then, obviously, if you're a technology person, you need to know more about technology than anybody else you work with. If you're a food person, you need to know more about food and nutrition. It's not an easy thing to do, but I think you have to know a little bit about everything and a lot about the stuff that you're involved with on a day-to-day basis.